Hello guys, welcome back again to my channel. So in today's video guys, we're going to be looking at the weekly chart breakdown so that we know what to actually expect for the coming week, guys. So we're just going to be looking at all these pairs. We're going to be looking at GP Australian dollar, GP CHF, GP CHF PY, and a lot of them. So these are the pairs which we're going to be breaking down for and looking for possible directions for the coming week. So I hope this is actually able to help you guys. So first and foremost, we're going to be looking at the GP CHF. So let's start from the weekly time frame. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and just clear the whole thing so that we look at it all together. All right, let me just go ahead and clear the whole thing, because it's actually going to help me to want to see things clearly. All right, so now looking at the pound, the pound Swiss francs. So looking at the pound Swiss franc, we can see that on the weekly level, the market is just trading between the support and resistance. And finally, from last week, we moved from the support level. So as you can see, we moved from the support level, which is 1.10510. So and currently, and hopefully the market is actually headed to the resistance level, which is the previous resistance level, which is 1.14214. So that's where the market is headed. So right now we are just going to scale down to the daily time frame. So scaling down to the daily time frame, what are we looking for? All right, we know that this market is bullish for now because we're looking at the daily time frame. All right, and we see this engulfing candle here on the daily. We see this engulfing candle here on the daily, which signifies what? And the nature and behavior of this candlestick, this particular one, this one circled separately, and then this engulfing candle tells us that this market is already moving to the upside. So right now, let me just go ahead and just give me a sec. Let me just delete this stuff. Let me just delete this. I'm not picking it up. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete them individually. Okay. So just be patient, guys. Just be patient. Hold on. So right now, being able to identify this now, and we are now going to go down to the 4 hours, right? So on the 4 hours time frame, what are we going to be looking for? We're going to be looking for the key levels or areas where the market is more likely to respect. All right, because this is a pullback, it's a corrective move, more or less like the market is actually coming for a retest. So right now we're just going to go down to the 4 hours time frame, which is the 240 minutes. All right, so on the 4 hours time frame, we are waiting for the market to actually get to this level. So when it gets here, all right, we'll be looking for what? For confirmations. All right, we'll be looking for some candlestick confirmations. So I did not actually draw anything on my charts, all right, but just being able to study the structure of this market, just being able to look at the market, study the structure of this market, I can tell that the market is what? And in an uptrend. Okay, market is in an uptrend. So what we are waiting for is for a correction to this area, and then an impulsive move all the way to that area. That's our target. So that's our target. So now that's to show you that you don't need to actually draw anything on your chart, all right? But you just have to check the market from the higher time frame perspective down to the lower time frame, which is your entry time frame. So once the market gets to this area, or if it chooses to respect this area, I would know by the nature and behavior of the candlestick pattern which it will actually form. So for now, I'm just going to wait patiently. Maybe I'm just going to wait for the whole of today before I get what I'm looking for. But definitely, I'm bullish on this. All right, I'm bullish on this. So you see, the market is no longer trading below this trend line. All right, and this was more like a channel. So, but we know we don't need all of this to be able to like read the direction of this market. Okay, we don't need all of this. So right now we are waiting for our buys. Right, we're waiting for our buys over here, and our target is that area. All right, so that's where we are going to be targeting. So right now, let's look at another pair. I'm just going to be looking at the pound Aussie. So that's what we're going to be looking at next. All right, So I use Orlando for my analysis. So for this now, it's still bullish though. Yeah. So first we are just gonna go up to the weekly. Let's just go to the weekly time frame. All right. So just give me a second. Right. So we're just gonna start from the weekly time frame. All right. So on the weekly, you can actually see that this market is actually very strong, with strong momentum to the upside. Okay, looking at it, you can clearly see that this market is actually having strong momentum to the upside. And right now, what we're doing is just a pullback. All right, so what we're having now is just what a pullback. So currently, what we should be targeting should be this already this weekly resistance there. So that should be our target. So for this now, by the look of things, the pullback is more likely complete. So we are going to be looking for what entries to target these highs, right? To target that area. So that area, because previously price have actually respected that area like once, two, and then we're expecting it to be the third touch. All right, we're expecting it to make the third touch. So for that now, we're just going to be patient, guys. We're just going to be patient, farm, and then wait for the market to give us confirmations. So right now, we're just going to go down to the daily time frame. And now the question is, when you get down to the daily time frame, what can you actually see? On the daily time frame, what I see here is that the market has actually come back to a certain key level, which is the resistance level. So, and there's nothing to clear. So since there's nothing to clear and I want some more information, what I have to do is I just have to go down to the 4 hours time frame. All right. So right now we're on the 4 hours time frame, and what we can actually see is we can clearly see a break of market structure, all right, which led to a creation of a new high. So since we can actually see that, all right, and we have this last candle, which is the order block or the demand zone. Okay, this is the demand zone that led to the creation of that new high. All right, so we're just going to see how the market reacts to this area. So when we get our confirmations, we're going to be taking a bias all the way to the upside. All right, we'll wait for the market to react. All right, wait for the market to react. When we see and we'll get the confirmation we need, we're just going to be taking our bias to that area. So that is going to be our target for the pound oxy. So that's going to be our target for that. So right now we're going to be looking at other pairs for like the Nasdaq, right? The NAS 100. Okay, guys. So right now let's look at the NAS 100. Right, because these are indices. So for the NAS 100, my bias is sell, but for the week, I don't know, but it's not clear enough, guys. It's not clear enough. So let me start from the daily with this, or let's say let's obey the rules and start from the weekly, right, to break down the market. Right. So let's start from the weekly. We can see that the market is more like. It's actually confusing though, but we want some more information. Okay, we can't actually tell for now if the market is actually going to be heading here. We can't tell for now if the market is actually going to be heading here, but from the look of things, it might likely happen, right? But we can't tell with some certain degree of certainty, right? Because the whole thing is confusing. Okay, because it might decide to like just be within this area, and the market might decide to either range. Okay. Either keep trading between the high and the low, but in case it doesn't and then it decides to push all the way to the upside to this area, probably that's still fine. But for now, I don't see any clear moves, guys. So I'd rather keep things like keep my hands tight to myself, all right, until I see any further clear moves. All right. So now let's go to the 4 hours time frame. Let's go to the 4 hours time frame. On the 4 hours time frame, the price is not actually looking so good, but we'll just have to wait for the New York section. So the New York section is actually gonna like make things a lot more clearer for us. If the market is actually gonna have enough momentum to push to that side. So if it does, well, fine. If it doesn't, it's still fine. But for here, I just have to be a little bit cautious. Okay. So the next one we're gonna be looking at, the US 30. US 30. All right, this is US 30. This is not the broker I use. All right, so for US 30 I use Orlando. So right, for the US 30, I think there's more clarity on this, but let's go straight up to the weekly. Let's see what we have here. On the weekly time frame, you can actually tell last week you can actually tell that the markets closed very strong, like bullish. All right, because we sold all the way to this area and it closed very strong, pretty bullish. Okay, closed very strong bullish. Okay, so right now we're just going to go down to the daily time frame. Looking at the last week candle, you see how strong and powerful it closed. All right, so it might likely be that the market might from there it might actually push to this area. Right, market might actually push to this area. That's actually possible, but we can't tell for now. But with the information which I'm looking at on the daily time frame and the 4 hours time frame, right, let me just show you guys so that you see with the information which I'm actually looking. All right, there is a tendency that this market might actually respect this area. Okay, it might respect this area again because it has been respecting it in the past. All right, because of this kind of which we see here. So but for now I think the motherfucker is actually breaking out of that area. It's actually breaking out. That's on daily time frame. So let's look at the 4 hours time frame. All right, on the 4 hours time frame, it's kind of like it's rejecting, guys. It's rejecting, but I wouldn't trust it, man. I wouldn't trust it. So I just want to see some more volume during the New York session. So you see, right now you see those powerful rejections. It's actually tempting to want to take a sell, but man, I just want to be sure. So the more volume which I get to see during the New York session, that's actually going to determine what I take myself in that. All right, so next thing we're going to be looking at, let's look at gold. I'm just going to forget for time, because of time, I'm just going to forget the German 30. All right, I'm just going to forget the German 30. All right, so now let's look at gold, guys. Let's look at gold. For gold, my bias is still not clear, guys, because this shit is as choppy as hell, man. It's as choppy as hell. So there's no trend. So for gold, I advise we stay out of this for now. All right, guys. So for gold, I advise we stay out of this. Let me just go ahead and delete the whole shit here. All right. Okay, I think I was actually back testing with that area, so I still need that information. I still need the information which is there. So for gold, looking at the weekly, there's no strength in those candles, weekly candles which you're actually seeing, and because of there's no strength, there's no momentum. That's why the way the candles are formed. So looking at these candles, looking at all those candles, it tells you that looking at those candles, looking at the way the candles are. So that's why we see the choppy sheet which we see on the smaller time frame. Okay, so now let's go down to the daily time frame. All right, so we can actually see that price has actually been rejecting and actually pulling up strong on this particular area. Right, price has been pulling up strong on this area. You see, so looking at this area now, see how price have actually been rejecting it. But for me, I won't want to be participating in this particular shit. Okay, until the market decides to want to leave this area. Okay, till the market decides to leave this range, because it's actually pretty ugly, man, and it's gonna be virtually really hard to trade, guys. So we're gonna leave that. So now let's look at the GEU. So that's where we stop for the JPEG, the British pound dollar. All right, so now let's look at that. For the British pound dollar, I think I'm still bullish, guys, just like the rest of the pound pairs. All right, the British pound, US dollar. So I'm still bullish, guys. I'm still bullish. So now let's just break it down a little bit. Okay, let's just break it down a little bit. So for this, so but it's not actually clear compared to the others. All right, it's not actually clear. So it's not actually clear. It's more like it's ranging on the weekly time frame. So because we can actually, for the past 1 month, you can see 4 candles, all right? A cluster of how many candles? 4 candles, all right? Like for the past 4 months, GU has actually been trading within this range. So now let's go down to the daily time frame and see for ourselves what is actually happening there. So on the daily time frame, what we actually see is clearly a range, and as of last week, we just managed to trade above this area. Okay, so would that for the coming week, is that the likelihood that this market will keep pushing to the upside? Yeah, for me, I think yes, because for the past like 3 months or there about 4 months, the market has now actually closed above this area. As of Friday close, the market actually did a good work by breaking above that area and closing above. So for that reason, we should be expecting some more buys to the upside, but we're not just going to be jumping in just like that. We need some kind of confirmation. Okay, we need some kind of confirmation. So for me, I'll prefer like the market gets to some key levels, right? Let me go to the smaller time frame and see if I can see any reliable levels. So I prefer the market to get to this area. When it gets to this area, we can actually decide to see if we might see some kind of reactions around that area. Okay, so if the market gets to here, let's see. But for now, I think I'll just stay. There's no trade to take. Okay, so see you guys later. Please, if you like this video, endeavor to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and also follow us on the Telegram channel. I'll be providing premium content and free signals to you guys. So stay blessed, fam.